Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's Daf, Nedarim Peites. We are at the Mishnah on Peiches Amid Beis, 3 lines from the bottom. We have a pasuk which says, V'neder almana ugrusha yakum od leah. The Torah tells us that a neder, which is made by an almana, a widow, or a gerusha, an isha who's divorced, either way, yakum od leah, which means that it stands. Question. Of course it stands. Isn't that obvious? Why wouldn't it stand? There's no husband in the equation to do the hafara. So why does the pasuk have to tell us a neder expressed by an almana and grusha will stand? Answer is like this. We're speaking about a case where, true, she made the neder while she was almana ugrusha, with no husband in the picture, but the neder was meant to be applied, was meant to be chal while married. Ketzad, for instance, as follows: Amra, she says, Hareini nazira la'achar shleshim yom. So she's currently an almana, no husband around. I am accepting upon myself to be a nazir when, not now, when I am an almana. Rather, I wanted to start after 30 days. And what happens within those 30? Even if she actually gets remarried, mazel tov, within 30 days, and there is a husband around when the neder becomes activated, because the Nazirus was only going to start 30 days later, and she is currently married when 30 days arrive. Says the pasuk, you should know. We don't care about the chalois. We don't care about when the Nazirus starts. We care about the status she was in when she expressed the neder, when she undertook that commitment. And since she was an almana and grusha at that point, the point of the neder determines. In which case, yakum aleha, that neder will stand and does not qualify for hafara. So it's all about the point of when you made the neder. Likewise, we have a reverse situation. Nadra v'hirus b'shus habal. Suppose she makes the neder while married, and the neder says, "I'm going to be a nazir later on." Mefarla, the husband can go ahead and do the hafara. Ketzad, for instance, Amra, she's currently married, and she says, Hareini nazira la'achar lamed. I'm becoming a nazir after 30 days. Even if something occurs within 30, she gets divorced. She becomes an almana. Hareze mufar, the hafara that the husband did way back at the point of her commitment, at the point of making the neder while she was married. That hafara works. So again, it's all about the sha'as ha-neder. Continues the mission with another chiddush, where a husband cannot do hafara, even, listen to this, even if she was in his reshus, she was married at the point of making the neder, as well as at the point where the neder was chal. How's that? How can that be? As follows. Nadra baybayim. She got married today on Sunday, and she made the neder today. She got divorced on that very same day. He took her, remarried her on that very same day. It's over. It's gone. Hafara is no longer applicable. Why? Zaklal. In line with the following formula. Once an isha leaves and enters her own domain, regains full independence, even for a sha'achas, for a short moment, such as in this case when she was married at the beginning of the day and remarried at the end of the day. But since somewhere in the middle she left his possession, her husband now loses his ability to do hafara. Here's a chiddush. because she was under his jurisdiction when she made the neder. She was under his control when she ended the day with the neder there. Still, he cannot interfere because he lost her. He lost control once he divorced her. So back to the beginning of the Mishnah, where we learned that when there's a change of status, she makes a neder while single, and then by the time the neder is about to be activated, after 30 days, she's already married. It doesn't work. The new husband cannot interfere because the point of the neder, the point of the making of the neder was when she was single. So we follow the moment of making the neder. Tanya, we have a brisa which seems to present a machlekes in this regard. So back to that pasuk, V'neder almana ugrusha. The brisa says, if it's an almana ugrusha she'amra hareini nazira likashei nasi. She's currently unmarried, and she says, I'm undertaking to be a nazir. When I get married, that's when the naziris will arrive. V'nisis, and she marries. And now the naziris is meant to arrive. Rabbi Shmuel oimer yafer. According to Rabbi Shmuel, since the arrival of the naziris, the application of the neder, occurs once married, husband can do hafara. He seems to disagree with our Mishnah. We'll see in a minute. But apparently, Rabbi Shmuel does not focus on the moment that she made the neder, rather at the moment when the neder is chal. Rabbi Kiva Aimer lo yafer. No, he cannot do hafara because it's all about when she expressed, when she made the neder, which was prior to marriage. V'simona yalili. Actually, some cut and paste this siman to a little further down. Basically, it's a remiss to the machlekes and the brisa, because here we had, in the first case, we had Rabbi Shmuel saying yafer, that's the yud, yafer. Rabbi Kiva saying lo yafer, that's yud lamed, yafer lo yafer. And in the upcoming case, we're going to have the shita is reversed, because it's based on the same rationale, right? So it's a reverse situation, so it's a reverse result. Lo yafer and yafer. Let's see. So we have the other way around. She's now married, and she says, I'm going to be a Nazira l'sheis garish once I'm divorced. V'nizgash, and she divorces. Rabbi Shmuel omer lo yafer. While she was married, this husband cannot do hafara on that neder which is not yet applicable, which is going to arrive in the future. Again, Rabbi Shmuel works based on the actual activation of the neder. This is in line with what he just told us a minute ago, but here it's the other way around. Here she made the neder married, and it's going to be activated unmarried. And therefore, Rabbi Kiva Omer Yafer, he goes the other way. Hafara does work because the Sh'as Amira, the Sh'as HaNeder, was when married. What is this machlekes based on? Rabbi Kiva, who follows the moment of the Amira. Rabbi Shmuel seems to focus on the Chalois. Amar Rabbi Shmuel, Omer, look at the pasuk. V'neder almana grusha, which seems to be saying that it's all about when the neder is chal. V'ad shehi neder b'shas alminus v'gerishin. It's all about the chalois haneder, as the Ran says. Neder means chalois haneder, and therefore, whether it's in the first case when she was unmarried and then it was chal as married, or in the second case when she was married and then it was only chal as unmarried, we look at when the neder is chal, and that generates, the differences in the halach. Rabbi Kiva Savar, no, harayu oimer kol asher asru al nafsha. It's part of that same pasuk. The pasuk reads, "V'neder almana ugrusha kol asher asru al nafsha yakam oleh." So according to Rabbi Kiva, it's all about when the Isser arrives. Achi isurei neder b'shas almonus v'gerushin. It's all about when the Isser neder is chal, and if it's chal, if it arrives, if it gets applied when she's an almana or a grusha, there's no husband in the picture, and he cannot get involved. Now let's match up this brisa to our Mishnah, which seems to tell us that it's all about when the neder is applied, is activated, right? Look at our Mishnah. What happens? She says, True, I'm an almana today, but I want the Nazirus to come la'achar shaloshim yom. What does the Mishnah say? Even if she got married in between, husband is not a player, because the neder was expressed when she was still single. So our Mishnah seems to correspond with Rabbi Kiva, not Rabbi Shmuel. That's Rabbi Chiza's approach. Abaye Omar, no, not necessarily so. Afilu Tema Rabbi Shmuel, perhaps our Mishnah, which seems to focus on the Shas HaNeder, on the Shas Amira, on the Shas commitment, can follow even Rabbi Shmuel. You know why? There's a big difference. You see, in our Mishnah, did she say anything about future marriage? No. She says, I'm going to be a Nazir after 30 days. Perhaps her status will change within the 30 days. She'll get married. Perhaps she will not get married. It's an unknown equation, right? Unknown factor. And therefore, in our Mishnah, we ignore the fact that she, got married, and we just focus on the Shas HaNeder. But in the Bryce's situation, she never spoke about days. It wasn't about 30 days. It was about change of status. What did she say? In the first case, she says, today I'm single, but I'm going to be a Nazir when I marry. Here, Dafka here, Rabbi Shmuel says, look, she depended her Nazirus upon marriage. You have to reckon with it. Change of status is a factor to reckon with, because she stipulated as such. She depended her neder on change of status. So you have to reckon with that. But that's specifically over here when she expressed that very specifically, as opposed to our Mishnah, where she was just speaking about a time frame, which could or could not have been affected by change of status. We don't know what would have happened within 30 days, and therefore you cannot hinge her neder on change of status. Basically, a change of status does not affect the neder. It's all about, we focus on the point in time when she made the neder, and that's it. Let's see inside. Amar Abaye, afilu temer Rabbi Yishmael. Mas nisan talya nafsha b'yomi. Our Mishnah it's dependent upon days. And the Bach seems to move around the words here. We sort of skip the next few words, and we'll come back in a minute. So the sentence continues with the words Shalmu Yomi. Okay, you got it? Another 5 words. Shalmu Yomi v'leinis garshi. She said, I want the Naziris to arrive after 30. Those 30 days could have came and went without any change of status. Who says she would have gotten divorced? That's in the case when she was married and made the neder after 30 days. Or in the first case, when she was single, when she accepted upon herself Naziris, and she says it's going to apply after 30 days. Shalmul Yaimi v'lei means bit nazba. Who says, once the 30 days are up, she'll marry? Maybe she will not get married. Basically, marriage and divorce had nothing to do with her neder. It was a Zman-related neder. And therefore, forget about the change of status. Focus on what's here right now. Let's go back 2 lines to the little letter, the Aleph there. So we just have to make up those words. As opposed to Brisa, says the Gemara. When it comes to the Brisa, Talia nafsha b'nesuin. You know why Rabbi Shmuel reckons with the change of status? Because she herself reckoned with it. She herself included it as part of the into the equation, into the structure of the neder. Look, I'm making a Naziris when I marry. Or when she was married, she says, I'm making Naziris when I divorce. You can't ignore that. That's part of the equation. And therefore, Rabbi Shmuel says, you have to wait and see what happens later. It's only chal later, and that's how you tag, that's how you treat the neder. So bottom line is, according to Abaye, Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel both agree to the din now Mishnah, that it's all about when she made the neder, not about when it's chal. It's only in the Brisa where Rabbi Shmuel, over there he disagrees and he says it's about when it's chal. Okay, let's go to the last line of the Mishnah, where we have Zeh Klal. Usually Zeh Klal is some chiddush, right? You should know this is the rule. If the Isha is on her own, even for a short moment, everybody loses control. What is the Mishnah going to add? Zeh Klal Diktani, you see, we have Zeh Klal mentioned twice. We have it back in a different parak in Nar Hamurasa. We have a girl who's engaged. Her father and the chassan can jointly address the Nedarim. And over there as well, it says, once if she did not gain her own independence, even for a short moment, father and husband can still control her Nedarim. So that's the exact klal over there. And the exact klal in our Mishnah says, well, this is the klal when she does gain personal independence, even for a short moment, she's totally in control of herself. So we have two zak klals. What are they trying to teach us? Says the Gemara, we have something for each one. Zak klal l'ktani gabanara marasa. The zak klal over there is coming to tell us l'asuri to include halacha av im shluchei habal. Suppose, she was about to go get married, and the father meets the emissaries of the husband, of the future husband, and he goes along. He asks him to let go of his daughter. He goes along. He escorts her. Or the father sent along shluchim to keep her company as she's going along with the shluchei habal. So we're speaking benara morasa, right? That she was still a nara morasa, and therefore we apply the same halacha as a regular nara morasa, right? Since he didn't let go of her, she's still considered in both domains. She's considered in her father's rishus and the husband's, and therefore we apply the regular din of benara morasa, the avio ubala mefirin derea. Both father and husband still have control to do hafara. So it's a chiddush, because you would think perhaps once she's in the hands of the shluchei habal, father let go, he no longer has control. The answer is no. He's still there, he's still part of it, he's still in the equation. What about the zeh klal in our Mishnah? Zeh klal d'ktani ve'elu nedarim. That's our parak, ve'elu nedarim. What about our zeh klal in our Mishnah? It's coming to teach us a bit of a different type of case. But he went a step further. He gave her over. He handed her to the shluchei habal. Totally let go. Masar av l'shluchei habal. Father gave her over to the shluchei habal. Oshe masru. Shluchei ha'av shluchei habal. Or the shluchim of the father gave her over to the shluchim of the baal, in which case he totally relinquished any rights. He totally let go, and therefore we say she'ein habal me'efer b'koidmin. We no longer can do any hafara. Listen to this, because the whole koyach of a chassan to address nedarim, which are koidmin, meaning which preceded the marriage, is because there's somebody there. There's a father to latch onto. Right? They're both together going to do it. But once father leaves the scene, husband cannot do it on his own. And even if you would actually marry her, right? He can't go back in time and take care of Nedarim which preceded his marriage. Ein habal mefer b'koidmin. So basically, the Gemara is telling us that a husband without father cannot affect anything on those Nedarim. So that's the zeh klal in our Mishnah. Once she enters her own rishus, even for a short moment. And the Gemara learns that it's alluding to a case where she's still engaged, but father let go, that's it. There's no hafar applicable. Okay, so in summation, we have a pasuk. An almana, ugrusha who makes nedarim, that's it, they stand. There's nobody there to disrupt the nedarim. Well, that's pretty obvious. Rather, the pasuk is telling us a chiddush, even if there's a change of status between the making of the neder and the application of the neder. We follow the point in time when she made the neder. She was unmarried, and there's no hafara. If she was married at that time, there is hafara. That's our Mishnah. And according to Abaye, even Rabbi Shmuel in the Brisa agrees to our Mishnah. When Rabbi Shmuel contends otherwise, that's because she actually depended. She hinged her neder upon a change of status. In which case, you have to reckon with that, and we follow the point in time when the neder actually arrives. And if she's married at that point, husband can get in the way. And vice versa. And we concluded with the chiddush inherent in the Lashon Klal mentioned in our Mishnah, as well as the Mishnah back in Perek Na'ara Muras. Okay, so now back to the topic of Na'ara Hamu'urasa. So we have a Na'ara, an Isha who is 12 years old, between 12 and 12 and a half, because at 12 and a half she turns Baigeres, super adult, in which case she leaves her father's jurisdiction. But if she's still Na'ara, and she is Mu'urasa, engaged, and she makes a neder, at that point we say father and future husband join together, in tandem address that neder. Either they do the hafara or otherwise. Now, in order for father to access that neder, two conditions need to be met. Number one, which is age-related. She must be a na'ara, as opposed to a baigeres, in which case he loses control. Number two, there needs to be a father. And a father who controls her, meaning she's still in his rishus, she's still in his jurisdiction. But if for some reason she's out of his rishus, suppose she had already married, even if it's during father's lifetime, he loses control. And even upon her divorce and return back home to her father's home, even if she's still nara, no control, no hafar on account of the father. That is called a yisayma, an orphan, which isn't really an orphan, it's just a label. We give her the name yisayma b'chaye ha'av, in father's lifetime. Okay, so knowing that, let's proceed to our Mishnah, which gives us a comprehensive list. 9 cases in total, instances where a father cannot do hafara. Now, truthfully speaking, as the Ran points out, the 9 instances can really be condensed into 3, because they merely represent 3 factors which preempt father's involvement. A would be when she's really a yisayma. Her father has departed. There is no father to be involved. B would be a yisayma b'chayeha, another version of yisayma. Father's really around, but he no longer has control. She had already been married during his lifetime. Now she's back home. Once he lost her, he lost her. Then we have the age-related inhibition, which is the baigeres. Once she's past nara, she's into baigeres. Once again, he loses that koyach havafara. So we're going to have 9 cases. And the reason why the Mishnah mentions 9 cases, says the Ran, because this is Rabbi Yehuda speaking, who would use riddles and types of variations of halacha to be machaded, elalachaded behenas talmidim, to sharpen his talmidim, to get them going, to get them instigated and immersed in the topic at hand. So we have 9 cases. The first 3, the first set of 3 represent yisayma b'chaye'av. The second 3, a regular yisayma, and the last 3, b'geres. Okay, so the first 3 is yisayma b'chaye'av. It says the Mishnah, Teisha Naras, Nedarim kayam. We have 9 instances of Nedarim expressed by a girl, which stands, meaning father cannot interfere. Number 1 is b'geres v'hi yisayma. She's actually a b'geres v'hi yisayma, and she is a yisayma b'chaye ha'av. So she had married and returned back home, in which case father lost control. It so happens to be she's also a b'geres, but that's just an added factor. The main point here is that she's a yisayma b'chaye ha'av. Or nara, ubagra v'hi yisayma. She made a neder when she was still a nara, then she became a b'geres, but she's also a yisayma b'chaye ha'av. Or nara shaloi bagra v'yisayma, or she's plain and simple a nara who made a neder, but she is a yisayma b'chaye'av. In all these cases, we say father cannot control, cannot interfere, because he lost his kayach. In the next set of cases, the next 3, we have a real yisayma, a yisayma mamash who lost her father loyalenu. A b'geres umei savia. We have a b'geres who made a neder, and her father had passed away. Naro begeres umesavia. She made a neder as Nara. She turned begeres, but her father is not around. Nara shaloi bagro umesavia. She's a plain simple Nara who never turned begeres, but her father passed away. So these are three variations of Yisayma. In the following three we have begeres. Nara shamesavia, umishamesavia bagra. She made a neder as a Nara. Her father passed away, and afterwards she became a begeres. Or she was begeres to begin with when she made the neder of Yakaim with her father around. Or Nara, she made a neder as a Nara begeres, and then she turned begeres via Yakaim with a father who was alive and well. Three variations of begeres. In all these cases, we say father cannot interfere. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, I have a chiddush. A father married off his young daughter while still Yaktana. You can do that. It's a marriage b'nat Torah. And the marriage proved unsuccessful. He passed away, divorced. She returned back home. Even if she's still Nara, doesn't matter. Because once she left his Rishus, once she was married, even though she left as a Ketana, that creates a detachment, in which case he cannot interfere. Omar Rabbi Damarav, as we explained before, Zud Div Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda chose to itemize and go into this whole comprehensive list of variations, which really represent three halachas. So he did it for the purpose of chidud hatalmidim. Aval chachamim just presented it simply and straightforward. Shalish na'aros nidrein kayamin. In three cases, the neder stands, whether it's begeres or v'yosayma, a real yosayma, or v'yosayma b'chayav. Continues the Mishnah. Koinam she'eni nena la'abu lavicha. Anisha gets up and says to her husband, look, I will not have any benefit from my father, from your father, on condition, if I provide for you. Okay? So she's basically hinging the neder upon her providing for her husband, which is, standard fare, right? So as soon as she gives her husband something, she cooks, she does something for him, it's going to trigger a family feud. She cannot have enough from her father, from her father-in-law. That's trouble. That's embarrassing. That's uncomfortable for the husband. And this would allow the husband to do hafara. Or, she'eni nenes lach, im oisani api abu api avicha. Or the other way around. If I provide for my father or your father, which is kind of almost impossible to avoid, if I do any of that, she says, Eini neneslach, I will not take anything from you, my husband. So in both these cases, we say, look, it's going to create an issue, it's going to create interference in their relationship. Hareza Yafir, he could do the hafara. And the Chiddush here explains the Ran, that a Baal can do hafara afal pi shelo yichal haneder. Look, realistically speaking, currently there's no Isser. She says, look, in the first case she says, if I give you something, then I can't take from my father. Okay, let's see what happens. The neder was not yet triggered, it was not yet brought about. Or in the second case she says, if I provide for my parents or your parents, then I can't take anything from you. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's play it out. We don't have to wait for it to play out. We don't have to wait for disaster to hit. We can do the hafara in anticipation of this upcoming difficulty. That's the chiddush of the Chachamim. Rabbi Nassim disagrees. He says, adopt a wait-and-see approach. There's no right to do hafara now. Tanya, we learned in a brisa, she'eni nenes la'abel avicha, imani oisel apicha. I will not take anything from my father or your father if I provide for you. Rabbi Nassim lo yafer. You can't do the hafara right now. Well, if it happens, if the condition is met and it triggers the neder, you worry about then. But now it's in a premature state. You cannot do the hafara. V'chacham oimrim yafer. Ezo chacham harayis hanelad. You can anticipate the future. You see trouble brewing on the horizon. Go ahead and preempt it now. We have another case, which is where she says, Netula ani mina Yehudim im misham shasech. she says, I cannot have any marital interaction with any other members of any other Yidden, any other Jews. If I get involved, physically with you, my husband. So this is real trouble because, if she gets, she proceeds as married with her husband, then it's going to create an isser between herself and anybody else, including her husband. Right? Remember, the husband is included in Yehudim. So as soon as she does some interaction with her husband, that creates an isser against the husband. On the other hand, we can't tell her not to get involved with her husband. That's the epitome of dvarim shebeino lebeina. So we're stuck. So technically, husband is able to address this neder, but still, Rabbi Nosson Omer lo yafer, don't do it at this point. Wait until it triggers, wait until it gets activated. Then you worry about it. Chacham Omer yafer, he can do it at this early stage since he knows that in fact it's going to develop into an issue, and therefore it allows hafara even now. Okay, so what do we learn today? An almana, a grusha who makes a neder, there's nobody there to interfere, of course, it stands. What if at the point of neder she was single, and when the neder actually arrives, it was a delayed action neder, time delayed neder, then her status changes. What's the determinant? The time of the neder's making, or the time of the neder's activation? The Mishnah says the time that she made the neder. We have a brayso, we seem to find a machlokes. Rabbi Shmuel seems to say it's totally in the chalois of the neder. And Abaye says it's only because she said she clearly depended it upon the change of status. But in the case of the Mishnah, it was just a time-related thing. She says, I'm going to be a Nazir after 30 days, and she so happened to get married within 30 days. That would not allow a husband to take control of that neder. We had the lashon of Zeh Klal in our Mishnah, corresponding to the Zeh Klal in a previous Mishnah. The Gemara pointed out the Chiddush, and then we have the Mishnah, the Gemara, explaining to us that a Nara Morasa makes a neder. That neder can be addressed by her father and her future husband, provided she's still a Nara and not a Begeres. She's still in the Rishus of her husband, of her father, as opposed to a Yisayma or a Yisayma B'chaya Av. Now we have a machlokes regarding Nedarim, which a husband can typically cancel, but it's not yet been brought about. It's coming up in the future. Rabbi Nosson says, wait and see what happens. Chachamim say, it's coming. Go do the hafara right now and cancel the neder. All the best to you. Much hatzlacha and lots of siyata d'shmaya to all of us. Amen.